Wow, holy crap. Welcome, everybody. It is a big show I got right now. Woo! Who would have thought? Who would have thought? Everything in between. First off, I'm going to welcome you to Boston Consessions. I'm your host, Topher. We are an SSBN podcast. We are brought to you within the city of Boston as we do our lovely pod here or there. Lights a little dimmer. Got to learn how to control that. But welcome in, everybody. It is a bigger show than I expected. What I did expect in order to cover a lot of Red Sox stuff, which I have to go over, and I'm going to be doing a hell of a lot of it. Oh, what's the big synopsis? Oh my God, if you didn't read the pattern on the bottom right now and where you're coming in, man, I've hit 50. Not yet in life, though. But we'll get to that. No, I want to congratulate myself because I'm at 50 episodes. I probably would have been this further off if I didn't have computer issues and everything else that basically went along with. However, I'm okay with where I'm at. It's a wonderful, good feeling. I'm loving every minute of it. And I can't really state to the fact that I have any issue whatsoever, which is the fact that I'm at 50. Who likes it? I do. My cat does. She's rolling around. And hopefully everybody that's basically been enjoying the show since. And I'll tell you a little about that. Then we're going to get into Red Sox talk. Why? Because Red Sox talk is basically where we need to be right now. It's what I promised you guys for like a couple things here or there. Bringing up the aspect of, hey, we got to talk Sox. They've been going on for like a little bit. It's been about a month and a half since the season started. There's been bigger things that have basically been going on. I want to cover them. So I'm gonna. I've got a lot of stats. I didn't slouch on anything with that. So, all right. Let's get me set up here. I should have actually did this earlier, so my apologies. All right. So now that I've got the little main piece up, everything going, comments are flowing. So here we go. All right. First off, I again want to thank everybody for like literally coming in and acknowledging to the fact that this podcast exists. As my light completely goes off. Wonderful. Ever just have that moment where everything is not what I wanted to do? Hey, did anybody see a camera? All right, just hang tight. Eee. Okay, I think my light is officially broken. Was not how I expected to like actually go. Hey, let's turn like 50 episodes on the podcast. By the way, we're going to turn the lights out. And then not only are we going to turn the lights out, we're going to have you try to figure everything out. So it's just humorous with how everything goes. But that's basically how life is, right? Life just basically kicks you with every aspect, and good luck with everything else as it goes. Oh, hold on. Going to be a juicy first. You're probably going to see a little bit of me, a little differently. If you're actually listening to this on Spotify, go check out the YouTube for the first 5 minutes. It's between something that you probably would never see. Oh my God. Whoa. All right. That is not completely what I expected. But you know something, we'll go with this for now. You know why? Because I want to get this done. Oh my God. No, it's not going to stick. What the heck just happened to my monitor? Ow. Is that what you expected? No. Well, you know something? This is what we're basically going to do. Not where actually, you know something? Can I do? I'm going to try to see if I can do this and get away with it. Just for tonight. Well, it's going to look like I'm pointing to the other side. Basically how it's going to have to go. Not really what I expected. I'm going to have to tighten my... I have to tighten my monitor up. I did every testing. And the reason why I did actually, I can do this. The reason why I did testing was because I was having the issue. This still is not going to work. Welcome to 50 and being a pro person. Also having to recalibrate your camera if it wants to behave itself. No, it does not. Can I have focus? Thank you. Oh. Focus. Yeah. Hit 50, they said. Do a podcast, they said. You'll have greatness within greatness and everything like that will happen, they said. Still waiting for the greatness. But I'm going to get the arm now down so it's not in the way. All right. So now that we've wasted 9 minutes of talking about this, let's get into the actual stuff. Ladies and gentlemen, hello. Oh, now that we've basically had everything and a half that has basically gone on, and I'm going to take that away. First off, again, welcome to the actual Boston Concessions. We are a Boston-based sportscast that we partner with SSBN, Small State Big Network. They are the boys based out of Rhode Island. And welcome to the actual 50th episode. Now, you'll go over and look and be like, dude, Boston Concessions hasn't been 50 episodes. You're right. We started off with a lovely podcast called Just a Bit Outside. Why? Because, number one, Bob Uecker is the man. Secondly, baseball is a ton of fun. And what better prominent to actually bring up one of the most iconic things that you can say, that especially when you do it in a random bar, half drunk in the bag, and you say, just a bit outside. There is somebody that'll come up to you and go, dude, I love baseball. Really? What else do you like? Dude, Ricky Vaughn is amazing. That is a true story. We'll save that for episode 100. If I remember. Someone's going to be like, yeah, go back to episode 50. You were supposed to do this. Maybe, maybe not. Hey, it's there. So, I started this podcast as the fact that people do state I like to talk sports. I like to actually get my opinion in, and I like to carry myself as to what I do and how I do it. And then I met a very good friend of mine. His name is, of course, if you're within the Boston area, you know the wonderful, absolutely amazing, and the very super Joe Murray. He is the host of the Joe Murray Show on 98.5, the Sports Hub. So we give credit to not only the station, but also to Joe himself. Because basically you helped me get to where I am. You helped me grow. You helped me understand. You pointed me in the direction where it was like, hey, we're going to get you podcasting. So here I am. And I'm not complaining about it. I've had some wonderful conversations with people after my podcast. I've had people that come up to me and go, dude, why did you have to talk about this? Why? Because I can and I wanted to and I gotta. I've had controversial moments. I've even had, well, we broke in with also a 5-hour show with Joe. We've had a 3-hour show with Jonathan Bird. And that's Bird, of course, from 98.5. We've had our lovely friend Al from Legends Lingo, who I will be quoting the Legend Lingo boys on here tonight as well, because they've given me their synopsis upon the Red Sox. 50 episodes is a challenge. And to the fact that I'm still standing here, still giving you some wonderful content and doing everything else in between, you know, I'll stand on high regard that I'm proud of myself. Why? Because to a lot of people, I think if I hit 20 or 30 or 40, people run away. People look the other distance. They don't get involved in it, and they just kind of shift off and don't really follow. To me, 50 is, I did 50. Do I have 50 more in the tank? Yes. Do I have 60 in the tank? Yes. Do I have 100, 200, 300? Yes. Is at some point I'm going to carry on and continue doing it? Yes. Why? Because I like it. If you want to join me on this lovely charade of what I call a podcast, by all means. But understand this, I do this for fun. So if I'm not 100% on stats, and you want to give me a liaison of stats, by all means, okay? Hit me with it. Do it. Just send it for all I know. The wonderful thing is did I actually sit there and create an email address where people can do this? Yes. It is info@Boston Consessions. And that is Boston Consessions as it is spelled on YouTube, and also how it is spelled on the other locations. But is it info@BostonConcessions@gmail.com. You can send me your quips, your anecdotes. You can tell me I suck. You can tell me I'm wonderful. You can actually tell me, hey, I've got a take. I want you to pitch it. And if it comes over and I go, hey, you know something? Let me look at it. Hey, let me mention this, that, this. I will do it. Considering someone actually liked, oh, dude, I love your take on the Bruins. You actually go on, you read the Facebook page, and you let everybody know. I was like, you're right. Because for me, every single time I read a Facebook page, okay, and it's about the Bruins, it's about the Red Sox, it's about the Celtics. Oh, this guy sucks. This person does this. What do people know? They're only fair with the fans and blah. Or they go upon the lingo like I do. You're a couch GM. You think you know it all. By the way, did anybody else see LeBron James get eliminated from the playoffs? I did. We'll go upon like that when we talk about the Celtics later on in the show. But it is promised. It is here. the Red Sox are officially 1 month into the season. What does that mean? It means March has subsided. April has reared its head. And it's past May 1st, which means the Red Sox got through a monumental first month. But did they? I was told within the fact, and I'll go over this really quick. Okay? I'm going to go to my computer. This is not giving me what I wanted. Why can I not just look at something, please? I'm not a fan of like certain things when I can't like look at other things. Can you stop, please? Oh my god. I've got to like do it over here. Now, like I know like what a lot of other people say, like, you know, dude, you've got like a lot of dead air, you've got like a lot of this. Like, listen, there is one thing I will simply say to you. With me, it is just me. There's usually somebody that's with somebody or doing something, and like, you know, they control like a lot of stuff. That's great. It is just me. So when I'm typing something, like, and I say like hang tight, it's because I'm trying to find out what's going on. You know, I don't have a social media director. I don't have somebody that controls 50% of the things that like actually go on. No, dude, it's just me. I mean, I'm 50 episodes in. What do you expect? What do you think? Like, I'm going to have like 50,000 like social media people and like everything else that like handles this? No, I'd be a megastar. But I'm not a megastar. I'm me. But the beauteous part that I did look at was I got to talk really quickly on a text message with the boys from Legends Lingo podcast. I talked to Big Al. I talked to Matthew Jordan. And I also talked to Thomas Cadmus. And what was the wonderful takes that I got? Well, I got what to me is basically some beef. And I know it's in here somewhere. You ever have like so much of stuff that is like everything with it? Okay. So, Matty Burnett, playoff team. Can't wait for Bello to return. Mr. Cadmus, very exciting to see them playing this well this early. Big Al gives his take. Good offense, decent starting pitching, need to make a move or two for the bullpen. And that's what they thought of the first full month. I do agree with some things. I don't agree on a couple things. And what else do I think about it? What's the overall rating? Big Al hit him with a C+. I'm not opposed to that. Couple things that I expected a little bit differently, and I expected a little bit more. Matty Burnett gave him a solid B. And so did Mr. Cadmus. But yet Thomas related them a little bit more. Definitely would have been better if they didn't go 4-3 against the White Sox, but still a good month. So here's where we're going to take that. First off, I love the boys over there. If you're not listening to Legends Lingo, do me a favor, besides listening to me. Go over, click them, give them a follow. They're on X. They're on Spotify. They're on, all the premium doohas. Go give them love. Why? Because we give them love. You give them love. Everybody gives them love. Somebody gives them love. Plus, they hit episode 300. I'm only on 50. Do you know how that? Do you know how that goes? Like, it's like, whoa. But here's the deal with where I look with them. Okay, the Red Sox to me right now, comparing to 2024 to 2025, is going to be a big ordeal. Are there different players on the status quo? Yes. Are there different methods that they're doing? Probably. What's the biggest thing? They still have the same gosh darn coach. What do I say about that? Well, everybody knows I am not an Alex Cora fan. Why am I not an Alex Cora fan? I do not believe in cheaters. Cheaters are checked in at the door. See you later. Goodbye. It's one reason why, I can literally sit there and be like, Jose Canseco, one of the greatest hitters. I love it. Oh, my God. Dude, you dope. You cheat. See you later. Goodbye. Used to love my Mark McGwire jersey. Red, St. Louis, McGwire. Dude, the man. I think I gave it to charity. It's just a big thing. I'm not one for cheaters. Cheaters, bullies, etc. And if you want to go into the bully category, please be very careful, because I do bite and I do throw haymakers when I talk about bullies. I do not like them. But I also don't like liars. I don't like cheaters. I don't like these types of people that come in and go, whoa. So where are we right now? Looking at them between 2024 and 2025, they're almost the same team. The same start out the gate, March, April, is almost a rendition. There's a couple things that are better. There's a couple things that are midway, but there's nothing that's lower, so I'll give them that. But I was hoping that this team, with a little bit more pizzazz, would give a little bit more strength. And it's where some of the things where I've been a little bit disappointing. First off, looking at it, for the 5 games they played in March, they were 1-4. They won the opening day, and then after that, 4 straight losses. So their win percentage was .200. Rafael Devers wasn't hitting the ball. He wasn't doing a lot of things. He was striking out. Everybody was like, oh my God, look at this. Rafael Devers, not proning the DH position that he's now given due to Alex Bregman. And there's a lot of differences within that. What's the difference between Bregman and Devers? Bregman is a better fielder. He's a better all-around control. It's better aspects. So out of the 5 games, they had 16 runs, 34 hits, 6 doubles, 1 triple, 3 home runs, 15 RBIs, 20 walks, 1 hit by pitch, 55 strikeouts. Oh my God. And I say that with willing consents for the reason why I say it. They had 9 stolen bases. They were not caught stealing. Their average was basically 201, which you can understand from the loss. Still better than anything Jackie Bradley would throw up at the plate. So we're good. On base percentage 289, slugging 302. It's wonderful. But it needs to be better. Why does it need to be better? Because you have a losing record, man. You're showing it. You're showing where you want to be. Now, in the month of April, you had 27 games. How did you do it? You stepped up. You started to hit. You started to actually congress yourself out of the spring training, knowing to the fact that it's actually hard season to get a play. And we're okay with that. Why? Because we do the best bare minimum of what we do. So what do we do for the month of April? 27 games. You went 16-11 with a 593 average for win-loss. You had 148 runs, 245 hits, which right now, if you include it, the runs, you're fourth in the league. Hits, you're second in the league. This is also American and National League. I didn't slouch. Okay, you're number one in doubles with 57 for the month of April. Okay, you have 3 triples, which are in 9th. 37 home runs, 9th. 5 RBIs, you're in 5th. You had 107 walks, 12 hit by pitches, 238 strikeouts. It's a downward turn from like the 55, and I'll state the why in a minute. You stole 27 bases. You got caught 6 times. Your total bases 419. Fantastic. 97 extra base hits. We like that. Your average was 260. You went 0.6 higher, 0.06 higher than what you started the season with. That's progress. That's how you win games. And you can also see it because you had a winning record. You were over 500. Your on-base percentage, 341, up from the 289. Great. Your slugging percentage, 445 over the 302. Why do I not look like I'm doing backflips? 2024. And to those of you listening on Spotify, I just showed my little cheat sheet that shows March right here, April right here. And that was for 2024 plus also 2025. And what was the difference? March of last year, I'll go over this really quickly. They were 2-2. They were 500. So they were already won. They did not play. They played one less game, but they had a better record over the month of March. 4 games over the 5 games, that was easy. But here's the attitude that I have. Granted, if you slip in that extra game. For the month of March, you had 16 runs. They had 14. They had 34 hits this year. They had 32 last year. 6 doubles? Well, they did 4. Equal amount of triples within 1. They had an extra home run last year than this year. They had 4 over the 3. 15 RBIs this year versus last year, they had 14. They walked 20 times this year. They only walked 11. They had 41 strikeouts versus the 55 right now. And that was for the month of March. But again, that's minus a game. Now, are you going to have 16 Ks in one game? That's a very big stretch. So think of it that way. They had 9 stolen bases this year in March versus the 4 that they had last year. They were caught stealing 3 times out of those 4. So 7 total. Extra base hits, they had 10 this year. They had 9 last year. The average to start the year this year, again, was 201. Last year was 229. 0.028 better. Okay. On base percentage, 289 this year, 285 last year. Slugging percentage, 302 last year, 357. I'm sorry, 302 this year, 357 last year. So what does it boil down to? When you look at it, a little bit of last year is still showing in this year. So when you break down the Red Sox, what are you showing down that you're going to break into? Where's your positivity? or better yet, not so much as your positivity, because you always want to be positive of the, you want to be positive of the team and everything like that you grow with, you control. But where's your connectability? Where's your hi? I'm one of the most largest and biggest teams in Major League Baseball. I am in one of the biggest markets. I'm one of the biggest that stick out all throughout the country. I'm just as almost big as the Yankees, if not just right at that doorstep. LA has basically dwarfed everybody right now. Can you blame them? But I'm Boston. I'm still a top tier team. I'm still a top tier something that makes people go, oh my God, I love the Red Sox. I hate the Red Sox. I'm Mets with the Red Sox. And it's also why Joe Buck continues to suck and talk bad about us, okay, during the time. And like, you can tell it in his voice. He doesn't say it deliberately like, hey, the Red Sox suck. But you can always tell. And it's Joe Buck. He sucks. But that's only between March. What about April? Topher, did you do April? God damn it. Yes, I did. So hold on. The month of April last year versus the month of April this year was difference of one game. Difference of one game. So if they basically played another game, they may have been tied. Why do I say this? 16-11 for the month of April this year. 15-11 for the month of April last year. You minus the game, and unfortunately you minus off a win column. Same amount of losses. Runs. 148 this year versus 129. That's improvement. Hits. 245 this year versus 225 last year. Again, improvement. Doubles. 57 for the month of April this year. 44 last year. Again, improvement. Triples. It's a triple. It's pretty hard to do. But you had 3 this year so far. You had 6 last year. So you were speed demons a little bit more. That's completely okay. Home runs. 37, 32. 37 this year, 32 last year. Not far away from the tree. You know, like let's put it this way, where it's got it in the title. If you want to talk about dongs, if you want to talk about dingers, if you want to talk about like salamis, if you want to talk about like, slapping it out the park, watching the thing go, watching the moonbeam, watching the glance from like wherever you see. Yes, Kat. And I'm all for it. If you're going to be a power team or finesse team, you got to kind of step up when you had like a suck season last year. And where did you go? This is how you started. If anybody sees like what I'm stating, you're not showing me anything that shows you got monumentally better. There's nothing that shows that. Why? And I'll state why. RBIs last year, 140 versus 123 last year. 140 this year versus 123 last year. Walks, 107 this year. You had 90. Okay. Strikeouts, 255 last year versus 238. Now, the 238, you're second in the league. Was Mark Bellhorn on the team again? Where are all the strikeouts? Should have actually looked that stat up. I might not have. I might have to get back on my computer. because I had some bonuses. Stolen bases. 23 last year versus 27 this year. Great. Caught stealing 6 times this year, 7 times last year. The average, and this is again where this picks up. For the month of March this year, you were 201. For the month of April, you were 260. You made that monumental leap. The average last year in March, again, was 229. The average for April was 253. You're not showing a good jump. I can understand if you were 253 and you decided to do 272. It's a huge jump. If you decided to do 265, I'm considering that a large jump. If you're already high on the index, if you're already doing 265 and you do 268, that's still a high jump. But when you're only doing 253 to 260, it's kind of hard because you're right in that middle of, you're not strong, you're relatively average. Average. What every guy doesn't want to hear. Hi, you're average. Congratulations. Take that where you want to, by the way. If you want to go downstairs, completely okay with it. Yep. Your on-base percentage, 341 last year. You were 341 this year. You were 330 last year. It's 11 points. Your on-base percentage was higher for this year, which shows monumental success. You're slugging. This is where I could say you're slugging I'll just say it. You're slugging the shit out of the ball. 445 this year, 424 last year. That up. But again, this is only 1 month. Where does it carry for what you're doing in any which way that helps you grind to a whole control of what you can do? Easy. You add people like Alex Bregman. Now, I know what everybody says. Oh, yeah, we're going to add Alex Bregman. Like, oh, it's a good thing. Maybe we should add somebody else. Maybe we just stay away from it. It's been the month of March and the month of April. The man has had a child. He is your league leader on the team in home runs. He's got 8. He's got 27 RBIs. His on-base percentage is 396. He's got 44 hits. You know what that basically screams right there? You went out and you paid for 1 year of Alex Bregman. Okay? Just in case if he just drops. I just say it's a 1 year Alex Bregman. It's a sample. You basically bought exactly what you needed. You bought home runs, you bought RBIs, you bought an on-base percentage, okay, and you bought hits. Okay? We're basically going to do Moneyball right here because you basically spent the money and you got results, which is what you expect. You spend the money, this is what you want. It's like somebody sitting there going, hey, I want to buy this. All right. Now, if you buy X product and you paid a good premium for it and it sucks, you're going to get complaints about it. Can you complain about Alex Bregman? Well, it was a little slouchy and everything like that as it goes. Why was it slouchy? Well, couple errors here or there. But again, where everybody was starting to scream the, oh my God, errors, errors, errors. You know? It's like, great. call it out within where they are. Call it out like as it goes, okay, and give everybody the points. Bottom line of it, I will look at it right now. Errors. Bregman has 5. Trevor Story has 4. Jaron Duran has 3. Tristan Campbell has 3. Romy Gonzalez has 2. Tristan Casas, who is on the bench right now, has 2. So, the only one who's safe right now is Rafael Devers. 0. He doesn't have him because he's not playing the field. But what's the benefit of it? If you're going to say Alex Bregman out of 35 games, okay, his fielding percentage is still .951. Where does that put him with everybody? Because the pitchers don't count because they always have like ones. He is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. So he's 12 people down. Is that going to be for like the remainder of the year? No, it's only the first month. Can't knock that. Duran's got a 957. He's above him. Rob Refsnyder. He's got a 960. He's above him. But again, 35 games, 10 games. Blake Sabol, who's the catcher, has 7 games. He started 4. He's got a 964. Trevor Story's got a 969. He's played 33 games. Tristan Campbell's played 30 games. He's got a 971. What does this show? Guys that could play more, they could make more errors. But again, this is what? Through the first part of the year. And I'm looking at the defensive WAR. He's like Alex Bregman is still a .3. Carlos Nevarez right now is a .9. Ceddanne Rafaela is a .8. David Hamilton is a .4. Bregman is a .3. Weiler Abreu is a .3. Connor Wong is a .3. Trevor Story is a .2. Tristan Casas is a negative .6. Rafael Devers is a negative .3. What does that show? Your defensive WAR for what you're showing out of how many plays and everything like that you do, your percentage is still not bad. You still have a chance of like actually getting that upward. So is that a bad case? No. But people comment on, we put Devers in a DH and we got this guy. It's like, yeah, because Devers might have about 52 errors by now. He might have 20. Do you want that? Or do you want the 5 errors that Bregman's playing at third? Hello? I'll take the playing at third the way it is with only 5 errors for 500, Alex. It's not a hard option. It's not like a bad way to go. But where are you locking it in? It's... I mean, if I'm looking at the batting average, Bregman, 317. And I'm not including Rob Refsnyder and Romy Gonzalez that have played 13 and 16 games because they're at 327 and 324. Is that going to go down because they're like, side guys? Yes. Tristan Campbell, who's played 30 games. He's right behind him with 290. Weiler Abreu, who's played 34 games, 279. Duran's a 271. Devers is a 250. Zidane Rafael is 219. Tristan Casas, 180. I swear he's injured for like not being able to hit. I really feel bad the fact he's injured. But this is your point from like what you're looking at. Like, look, a lot of these guys have not had the years or the experience or anything. But when you bring in someone like Alex Bregman and he's showing where he's being paid. Can you mark on the person where this is so much of a bad thing with what you're looking at? There's nothing bad about it. I will take the 5 errors with the 317 batting average, the 8 home runs that he holds, the 27 RBIs, the 396 on base percentage, and the 44 hits that he has combined right now in order to lead your Boston Red Sox after a month and 5 games. Is there anything wrong with that? No. Why? I'll tell you why. Home runs, it's Bregman, Weiler Abreu, Rafael Devers. 875. Trevor Story has 5. Tristan Campbell has 4. Carlos Nevarez has 3. Tristan Casas has 3. Rob Refsnyder, 2. Jarren Duran, 2. Zidane Rafaela, 2. David Hamilton, 1. Everybody else does not have a ding-dong. Or dinger. Or dong. Whichever way you want to go. Okay? When you go to RBIs, yes, it is Bregman for 27, Devers for 23, Weiler Abreu for 22, Jarren Duran for 19, Trevor Story for 16. They're keeping up with everybody. But again, the guy that's breaking away is the guy that a lot of people needed to get here. Total bases. Bregman, 81. Duran has 65. Devers has 60. Weiler Abreu, 58. How many walks? Devers has 26 walks. But he also leads the team in something else. Strikeouts. Right behind him is Trevor Story. 2 guys that should not have that monumental of strikeouts. Tristan Campbell, 32 strikeouts. Jarren Duran, 31. Weiler Abreu, 30. Bregman hasn't even hit the 29 mark yet. Well, he's at 29. I mean, stolen bases? Jarren Duran's already at 11. Trevor Story stolen 7. Zidane Rafaela stolen 7. Hamilton stolen 5. Abreu 4. Bregman has 1. He basically hits the monument with like basically making sure he can still do everything. On base percentage, where Bregman has 396. Weiler Abreu is 394. Campbell is 394 as well. Romy Gonzalez, 382. Devers, 370. Refsnyder, 350. Duran, 321. Story, 308. Zidane Rafaela, 278. Casas was a 277. What's your slugging percentage? Bregman is a 583. Refsnyder is a 568. Weiler Abreu's a 523. Devers falls all the way to the category of a 441. Your on base and your slugging percentage. Bregman a 979. Refsnyder's a 918. Abreu's a 916. Campbell's an 870. Gonzalez is an 831. Devers is an 811. Bregman's a 2.1 wins above replacement. Weiler Abreu is a 1.6. Ceddanne Raphael is a 1. Tristan Campbell is a 0.9. Devers is a 0.8. Story is a 0.8. It's a great moment. You're showing it. Where's the team right now, though? 18-18. You're second in the AL East. Why are you second? Because you just dropped 2. Oh, wait. Topher, what about pitching? Do you really want to talk about pitching? Because I'll state one of the guys I'm not impressed with. I was happy for the signing, but I'm not impressed with. Walker Buehler is leading the team in wins. Is it pure wins or is it kind of garbage wins? I'm going to say the other way around. Garbage wins. Where's my cursor? Pitching. Walker Buehler holding 4. Garrett Crochet holding 3. Games started. Or I should say games played. Walker Buehler has 6 games played, 6 games started, 3 quality starts with the loss. Garrett Crochet has 8 games played for 8 games started. Okay, 4 quality starts, 3 wins. 2 losses. Garrett Crochet's had 49 innings pitched. Buehler's at 33.2. Tanner Houck has 36.2. Sean Newcomb, 23.1. Garrett Woodlock, 19.2. Brian Bello, 17.2. He's going to be climbing up. ERAs. Garrett Crochet leading the team. He's got a 2.02 ERA. Beautiful. Okay. Brian Bello comes back to the team. He's got a 2.55. Okay. Richard Fitz, 3.18. Hunter Dobbins, 3.78. Sean Newcomb, 4.24. Walker Buehler, 4.28. I'm not even telling you about Tanner Houck. No, I'm going to anyway. 6.38. These are guys that are like in the stratosphere. I'm not even telling you about relief pitchers. Cooper Crispo, 10.3. Michael Fulmer, 10.1. Zach Kelly, 9. Justin Slayton, 14 games played. He's got a 6.57. You know, some of these guys only had 1 games and they got I don't want to say they got lit up, but they're holding themselves down. Garrett Whitlock's a 366. Liam Hendricks comes back. He's at a 3. Brennan Bernardino's a 231. Aroldis Chapman's at a 159. Aroldis Chapman is actually showing his worth. If I had to choose between Walker Buehler and Aroldis Chapman, taking Chappie. So what's the benefit of the stats, though? The benefit of the stats is exactly this. Your bullpen blows. Okay? It sometimes has good moments. Sometimes your pitchers are not holding down. But either which way, you've got to be stronger. What Big Al to me said in his text message when he said like how we felt about the team, there is that divide that you do have to go out and you do have to get, that proper team. But what does that mean? It means to the fact that you have to basically carry yourself, make sure you get the right people, and go out and get someone who's going to hold their ground in the middle of a game if your pitcher doesn't hold the line. If your pitcher does well, but comes in order to hold the balance. Because he just had a monumental game. And you go on and blow it, letting up 5 runs, 10 runs, 20 runs, 50 runs, 100 runs. There needs to be better aspects. Right now, you are a 500 team. What were you last year? 500 team. Up, down, a couple games here or there, any which way, you were 100. You are 500 team. There's going to be no way around that. You're a 500 team. For the money you just spent, the trade that you did you strengthen yourself? I'm not seeing it. It's still the same team, different players. Like, come on here, guy. What more do you want to tell me about the Red Sox that I haven't already seen? You've got to show me that you can get this done. You've got to show me that you can carry this down the line. You got to show me that you're going to go out there for 22, 23, 24 million a year. You're going to go out there and show me a damn good quality start. You're not going to show me a 4 ERA. You're not going to show me a 6.38. What the garbage? If I'm sitting there making anything over $12 to $15 million a year, okay, say to the fact that the podcast was booming, I'm doing really great, you guys are coming in, I'm making money, I'm putting it back to the community, doing everything I normally do, but then I'm actually getting people that, hey, if I need to look up a stat, someone's handing me a piece of paper going, oh, they did this. Great. It's coming off our screen. Hey, look at that. Hey, so-and-so behind the scenes over there just said it's it's 100 pitches. But if that's the case, and we're doing that, if I'm giving you the same kind of energy where it's like, Red Sox suck. Who cares? By the way, I ate a hot dog earlier. Gave me agita. If that's the kind of energy I'm building, when you guys are giving me all this positivity and it's growing and I've got this person and this person that wants to hype up the stuff. Great, cool. Who's to say anything? Not me. But what's the benefit to it? If you're getting paid, show the work. Don't come out here looking like garbage. And yes, there have been injuries. Brian Bayo coming back, Liam Hendricks coming back. Tristan Casas, of course, going on the bench. A couple injuries here or there. I think they lost a catcher. What was it? I forget who the hell it was. I don't think it was Navarez. Was it Sable? Of course, this thing is not going to click. Wonderful. Awesome. It clicks one guy, but doesn't click the other guy. Injuries. Okay, so Tristan Casas, they show 10-day. He underwent the surgery to repair the ruptured patellar tendon in his left knee. So, is he probably going to be longer than 10-day? Wouldn't be surprised. May 2nd, Walker Buehler. He's on the 15-day injured list. Right shoulder inflammation. Okay, that's wonderful. April 29th, Masataka Yoshida. Yoshida with the shoulder could head back to Boston to be evaluated. Since the outfielder's throwing program is not going well. Dude, Cora, shut the fuck up. Okay? State it what it is. Yoshida is not injured with a shoulder. He's not injured with anything. You have him on the bench because you're not worthy of like where he's going to be in the outfield. Shut up. Anybody like at least explaining to the fact that like that's what that guy's there for? Sweaty garbage. Okay? It drips down. It angered my cat just now. You want to tell them how you feel? Thought so. Anytime I hear anything about Masataka Yoshida, okay, first off, you basically screwed the guy. You signed him. You had all these players from like, from AAA, AA that were basically going to be champs and everything they were going to do. And what did you do? What did you do? Oh, we got to try to figure out this guy. We can't rightfully cut him. But no, you treated him like sweat. Now you're paying for it. Good. I thought we did have a catcher that went down. He must be back then. Yep, Connor Wong was reinstated from the 10-day injured list. Option catcher Blake Sabol to Worcester. Placed right-hander Walker Buehler on the 15-day injured list, retroactive to April 29th. Recalled Hunter Dobbins from Worcester. This is May 2nd, May 3rd. This was reinstated. Brendan Bernardino from the bereavement list. Placed Casas on the 10-day. Selected the contract of third baseman Abraham Toro from Worcester. Optioned Luis Guerrero to Worcester. Yeah, the 27th, they sent Connor Wong for a rehab assignment. Yeah, I'm not seeing. Yeah, I remember the 13th. Yeah, it was Connor Wong on the 10-day. Recalled Blake Sabol. Then they sent Liam Hendricks to Worcester for a rehab assignment. Released left-handed pitcher Matt Moore from a minor league contract. Then you placed right-handed pitcher Richard Fitz on the 15-day injured list. Selected the contract of Michael Fillmore from Worcester and agreed to terms with the Yamani Grandal. Yeah. So, a lot of stuff that basically happened. But, of all honesty, where's my record for how I look at the Red Sox right now? Like, we've basically gone on a little bit. Oh. The Red Sox, from what I look at and what I review, they're a strong C. I'm not going to state they're a plus. I'm not going to state they're a minus. I'm not going to state they're in the B category. They are not really showing to the fact that, there's signs of life that they are a different team. But it's the same category of mismanagement, missed opportunities, mismotivation, a lot of other things that basically come down the pipeline that are showing this is the same team, run by the same manager, optioned for the same manager, doing everything that's the same way, no matter what. It's kind of like when you look at a chessboard. If someone gets the option of what they do every time on a chessboard, you can gussy up the players all you want. But it still comes down that you are still controlling, the rook on move 5. You're still getting the queen out in move 3. This is stuff that still goes on that people are just going to sit there and do, like, oh, hey, I'm playing this guy. He does the same thing all the time. Watch. And you watch. This is the same thing, if not an up and down seesaw from last year. Where was last year? Did they make the playoffs? No. Were they contenders? No. Did they come out pretty good and then just went, eh? I'll do the reference. Hold on. I believe I went through StatMuse. So here's what you want to look at. Okay? And right now it's not looking good because I'll state why. May was 12-16. Okay? They played 28 games. And it was an average of .429. June, they went 15-11. Okay, that was 26 games total. And they had an average of .577. July, they were 13-11. It was 24 games played. That was a .542. And then August, because why not? 13-15. Total of 28 games, .464. And then finally, September, they were 11-15 for 26 games with a .423. Okay. Now, if I go back to like right now, okay, their March and April we already went over. Okay. Right now for May, start of the month, 5 days into May, cue Justin Timberlake. It's gonna be May. Yeah, because it's here. 1-3. 1-3 out of the first 4 games. You really think that they're holding anything for anybody? Yes, no, maybe. So that's 4 games into May. You've got 24 to go. Well, let's see what's on the docket for May. Let's see. You've got 3 games against Texas. You've got 3 games against Kansas City, 3 games against Detroit, 3 games against Atlanta, who just wiped the floor with the Dodgers, 3 games against New York, 4 games against Baltimore, 4 against Milwaukee, and then you close out the month again against Atlanta. So, if you go 1-2 each time against Atlanta, because Atlanta's going to dog you. That's 2-4, but that's 6 games right there. So that's 10 total, with leaving you possible 18 games to play. Let's see what we find here. Hold on. So we'll go from the first. You played Toronto, Minnesota. You lost in Toronto. You won the first game against Minnesota, and then you lost the next 2. All right. So you have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27. So you have, again, 28 games for May. Minus the 4 right now. Okay, you've got 24 to go, and your possibility going to have 6 where you're 1-4 is going to be 3-8. Did I do that math right? No, I didn't. 1-3 and a 2-4 is 3-7. You may do okay with New York, but they've got hitters. You know, Baltimore's not bad. You played Baltimore already, but again, that's the beginning of the year. Don't count that. Guys are getting warmed up. Guys are getting the flow. You got Detroit. They're first in the AL East, 22-13. I mean, they're looking good. No, hold on. Let me see New York right now. They're 22-13. They're first in the NL East. Jesus. Where's Atlanta right now? They're third in the NL East. 15-18. Okay, so maybe you got a chance. But again, they've got the Mets, they've got Philly, they've got Washington. I love how they say they're third in the NL East, but they're actually fourth. Let me see. How's Milwaukee look? Milwaukee. Milwaukee's third in the NL. They're 17-18. All right, so they're getting another close to 500 team. All right, so got more of an option. Let's see, Kansas City. They're third in the Central. They're 19-16, so they're higher than you. And I love how the headline, the Royals last in home runs, belt team record 7 versus Orioles. So yeah, Baltimore you could probably beat. How's Texas? Texas. Well, Texas, you know. Yeah. I mean, they just fired their hitting coach. This was per Jeff Bassan of the second fewest runs scored in MLB and are 17 and 18, fourth best ERA in the American League. So you got to contend with that. Your batting is you've got the fourth best ERA in the American League. That's what you're going up against in the Rangers. So the only reason why they don't win is because they have no offense. You know, their hitting sucks. But yet, you know, they'll basically beat the bag out of you pitching, defensive wise, and shut you down. You got to get into that. That's a huge kill. There's a lot you got to go into. Oy vey, man. No. Oh my God. So, let's do some news. Oh God, the news. We've talked about the Red Sox. I'm not going to be bummed anymore. Why? Because we're a subpar team and I expect better. Well, let's talk about like heavy news because I'm going to get into the NBA right now. The NBA. So Golden State and Houston, they wrapped up a little while ago while we are live because, again, we are live late at night on YouTube. And also we are replaying on Spotify. So if you're re-listening, thank you. If you're here with us live listening in the background, thank you. If you're sleeping, but you have me as background music. I was going to do like something of a snore, or I was going to be like, I want you to think about sports. But it just didn't come out. And watching me on the camera just like made me laugh. So it's there. Oh. So, the Golden State Warriors have advanced in Game 7. Buddy Hield becoming the playoff hero, leading the team early in Game 7. And then Steph Curry just basically dropped the bomb. Curry had 22 points. In total for the game, he dropped 14 in the fourth. Hield made 9 3-pointers and was 33 points in. The Warriors will move on, and they will face the Minnesota Timberwolves. I like that matchup. But what is the difference? I was actually expecting the Rockets. The Rockets were grinding. The Rockets were basically showing what they could do. Pitching Golden State to a Game 7 was monumental. But what's the other thing I said, how I felt about the Rockets? There was something missing. And the something missing just basically showed everything you needed to see. Steph Curry and company going to town, basically flattening them out. The one thing I will say is the Rockets were also a little bit more physical than expected. Well, when you show pure talent and everything, and you show that it in big games, That's where it's going to come down to. The Warriors also became the number 7 seed in NBA history to advance to the semifinals and eliminated Houston in the playoffs for a 5th time. Yay! That's at least a monumental little curve. Here's the absolute. The second round has already started with Cleveland and Indiana, and here's the stunner: Indiana popping the win, 121-112. Tyrese Halliburton, scored 22 points, dished 13 assists, added some key plays on defense, a steal and 3 blocks. First player in Pacers history to put up that kind of production in a playoff game. That's the stuff that you need. The Pacers raced out to an advantage on the opening period, jumping on the Cavaliers, who were missing all-star guard Darius Garland for the 3rd straight game with a toe, for a 9-point lead by the end of the first quarter. Indiana had an advantage for most of the game and a 12-point lead in the 3rd before the Cavs began to rally. Cleveland did take a 102-101 lead with 6:30 remaining in the 4th on a free throw from Max Strus. Pacers ended the game on a 2010 run, started off by a Halliburton 3-pointer and punctuated by a Halliburton block on a Strus shot, which he followed with a layup on the other end to make it a 10-point game. The Pacers are deadly. Are they anything like the Knicks? No. But they are deadly. And they just completely showed why they're deadly. They took the number 1 team in the Eastern Conference and basically made mushmouth out of them by showing them, hey, a man can block. Defense will win you games. And the other highlight of the night, here we go. The NHL, baby. St. Louis and Winnipeg, Game 7. Here it is, money and marbles on the line. The Jets, the Winnipeg, take on and dismantle the Blues. The Jets' thrilling rally puts 4-3, double overtime, Game 7 victory. They send the Blues home. Damn. Winnipeg Jets forward Nick Ehlers could muster only one word to describe the feeling of their 4-3 double overtime Game 7. Joy. Here's another word: historic. Adam Lowry's goal at 16:10 of the second overtime closed out the series, advanced the Jets to face the Stars on Wednesday, beginning in Winnipeg. But that overtime doesn't go without Cole Perfetti's goal with 3 seconds remaining in regulation, which established an NHL record. Perfetti's goal at 59:57 was the latest tying goal in a Game 7, topping the record by Canucks winger Matt Cook in the 2004 conference quarterfinals against Calgary. The Flames would eventually win the series in overtime. Perfetti also tied Washington's Dale Hunter and Carolina's Eric Stahl for the second latest game-tying goal in NHL history. Cook's goal with 2 seconds left in a conference semifinal in Minnesota is still the fastest. Yay! So, I will tell you the one thing that I've looked at between hockey and the NBA this year. Hockey has been monumental. it's something that the NBA should at least get a little bit more clearer with. When you look at the NHL and you see how it gets the blood flowing, the NBA does that with some people, but it also leaves them lacking. It leaves them kind of winded out. Like, what was the real big hype? Like, yeah, you shot a couple really good shots. You did some really good things, but what really did you do? The NHL is showing you fast pace. It's showing you goals. It's showing you goal saves. It's showing you everything. It's showing you fights. And I'm not being biased because I might like the NHL. Don't get me wrong. Watching the Celtics play and watching other teams play that don't include LeBron James, there's just something about hockey that you just get that monumental magic of, oh, this is amazing. And it's not just from watching, like, the Bruins, because let's put it this way, the Bruins stunk this year. Stunk is I don't want to say smelly, don't want to say winded. Stank. Stunk. Pewed the place out. Cleared them out. Bombed. The Bruins blew. That's the way it is. But what is the benefit of hockey, though? Like, watch other teams. Like, you're seeing a monumental goal saves. You're seeing so many defensive plays. You're seeing offensive prowess. You're seeing movability within the puck. It's a dancing liaison that just gets you right to your feet and you go, oh. I said to somebody who asked me one day what the aspect of hockey versus, what was the stat? Hockey versus basketball. And I said, you know something? Basketball is one of those things that you can always look at and you get really, really excited for everything that comes along with it. Hockey's just that one thing that, like, you're watching back and forth. You're continuous play. It's here. The puck's moving. It's this. It gets cats to play along. Like, they're trying to paw the screen because there's a little round circular, like, flat puck that's going back and forth on the ice and it's being controlled. And then you get to basketball and it's like, hey, we're going to slow it down. We're going to do this. And today's basketball has also gotten really boring where it's like 3. You just want your reaction to something that is, within the aspect of Peter Griffin going corner 3 and watching a guy put up a 3. And then Cleveland complaining and then again, corner 3. But can you really state corner 3 all the time? No, but can you say top of the key 3? Can you say like to the corner 3? Can it's everywhere 3. And every once in a while you get like you go on TikTok, it's like show me really good dunks. And they're showing you dunks from the 80s, the 90s, the 2000s. When LeBron wasn't a big bitch baby. The 3 like La BBB Braun. That's what he should be. The LeBron, like the 3 B's of LeBron James. Big bitch baby. I'll state why. Like, because it's some things that like actually got me sick. And I got a top comment in a TikTok. It was great. The monumental piece again about hockey is you will have guys that get hit, smacked, punched in the face, lose a tooth. Hell, they lose 2 teeth, 3 teeth. Take a puck to the face, take a puck to the leg. And you know what they say to like the trainer? Can I go back in? You break a nail, a hangnail, and you can't shoot the ball for 3 days. Oh, it really hurts on my... Dude, block. You also don't want to block? Fine, steal. Just stand there and wave your hands around like oh man, I'm going to cover somebody. That does not constitute any contact. There are guys that get whacked. That's what people want to see. Give it to them. But when I go to look this up, sorry, for Sean, I will go to my no. I want to go to my inbox. Activity. So the way this basically went, the Timberwolves were playing LA. And someone brought it up, and this is why I bring it up. LeBron James is having a ball passed in. Or, I'm sorry, the Timberwolves are throwing a ball from underneath the basket to go back to the top of the key. And it's going to somebody who's getting ready to shoot. And Dante DiVincenzo comes clocking in, and him and LeBron James basically whap each other. LeBron is limping. It's basically re-shown all over the place. And when you're looking at how big LeBron James is, anybody who listens to this, go look at how big Dante DiVincenzo is. Okay? Go look. I'm going to tell you here, but for your own giggles, go look at him. Okay? Because I'll break it down right now. I'm gonna look up both players. Okay? Now, I'm basically gonna break this down very easy. Dante DiVincenzo is a guard. He's a shooting guard. What does that say to you? Shooting guard. Okay? And his name is I gotta look these up more. Dude, this man has more nicknames. I'm finding my favorite player now. Dante DiVincenzo, from now on, is one of my all-time favorite players. I don't care about what he does. I don't care about anything else. Okay? He is 28 years old. I'm going to watch him from now on. I'm rooting for him in the playoffs. This man's... The nicknames for Dante DiVincenzo per basketballreference.com. Yep. The Big Ragu. White Chocolate. DDV. Just sounds like an STD, but we'll go on. Devo, spelled capital D, small I, capital V, small O. The Michael Jordan of Delaware. He is from Delaware. Okay, he played high school ball in Wilmington, Delaware. That's just funny. Oh my God. Oh. So now here's the reason why, like, while I have this video brought up and like the comments and everything. So the comment in question is from somebody on this post. La Flopper ran into a guy half his size and went down harder than a Kardashian on an NBA All-Star. First off, that comment is gold. Gold. Secondly, he's not lying. Dante DiVincenzo, when you look at him, he's 6'4", 6'4", 6 feet, 4 inches. By the way, do you know he's 6'4"? 203 pounds. 203. That's 92 kilograms. Versus LeBron James, who is 6'9". 5 inches taller. 250 pounds. £50 heavier. And LeBron ran into Dante, and LeBron went down. By the way, LeBron Ramon James is nicknames King James, LBJ, Chosen One, Bron, the Little Emperor, the Akron Hammer, L Train, Benjamin Buckets, Captain Limerica. Can you say you're full of yourself without saying you're full of yourself? Chosen One, King James. I mean, like, that's, you know. But here's the beauty part. I'm looking at this now, and this is from hoopswire.com. A person by the name of Ashish Mathur. He took an expletive out of Dave McNaminian? Sure. Sorry if I'm butchering anybody. Story filed to ESPN.com. LeBron James suffered a grade 2 MCL sprain in his left knee from his collision with Dante DiVincenzo on Wednesday's Game 5. A league source told ESPN. The injury entails a 3 to 5 week recovery time. Do you remember how I said you've basically, like, here's the thing. You've got a body. Okay? You've got a 6'4", 203 body. coming at a 6'9", 250 guy. Dante should have been blocked back. And when you look at it, it's full-blown, like, you know, LeBron is going into him more than he's going into LeBron. So, if anything, the way LeBron was going into him, you would think there would be action the other way. Nope, LeBron went down sack of potatoes. So, where am I going with this? This is simple. When you look at hockey, you are taking a 70, 80, 90 something mile an hour slap shot to an arm, granted with padding, but it's hitting an arm, it's hitting a leg, it's hitting a calf, it's hitting the chest, it's hitting a helmet, it's hitting you in the face. These are guys that get hit, they go to the locker room, they come back, and they're like, dude, I want to play. LeBron goes down like a sack of potato nut sacks, okay, to Dante DiVincenzo. And him and the team put out like a thing to the fact he's got an MCL sprain of a level 2. But yet, well, you didn't play you played the remainder of Game 5. You went off like a little bit, came back. You know? But that man's going to be 41. And I know what a lot of people want to know. Where does LeBron stack up? Where does he stack up with everybody? Here's my complaint with it. You can give me all the stats in the world. You can make me Statzilla. I don't care. You can make me the stat king of the freaking court. I was trying to think of something good. It's late. I didn't. Bottom line, here's how I look at it. Dude, take the most points. Take the most everything. The point of it is nobody, and I mean nobody, even AI, for people who have taken the stats and the build and everything within who he was, how he conducted his team. And yes, there's more stuff coming out. Like, oh man, he sucked and he was this. But you know something? Outside world versus how you were in the court, you had to be. Because there was nothing easy in the 80s, nothing easy and given to you in the 90s. And if you played Floppy McFlopperstein, you were razzed, ridiculed, thrown away, and everything in between. Okay? If you did any of that, like mojo dancing and everything, no wonder why he wanted to act. Okay? But yes, if you want to know who the GOAT of the GOAT is in basketball, it is certainly Michael Jordan. Now, will I hold the fact of, like, if you conclude the playoffs and everything else in between? And I'm not saying this because I'm a Boston fan. I still love MJ because MJ was at my time where it got me hyped. And yes, the Celtics did win a championship in the 80s. Danny Ainge was on the team. Larry Bird was there. Robert Parrish was a dominant man. Kevin McHale was a power forward with the shorts. But what was the benefit, though, of that team? It's just a team. But let's backtrack a little bit. Let's go back to the 60s. Let's go back a little bit. The difference, though, between a GOAT is someone who makes monumental moves and not only wins you championships, but carries yourself out to be that great guy. If I was anywhere else in the world, I would still make this comment. Michael Jordan showed us we could fly, so he's the GOAT upon GOATs, because everybody who's come before him basically created that stat. And Jordan coming out now to where LeBron James is who he is because of Jordan. Kobe was who he was because of Jordan. Anthony Hardaway, Allen Iverson, Trae Young, all these guys had something in common with either you were a Kobe guy or you were a Jordan guy. But before that, there was one man who stood on plateau. And nobody gives him the right proper credit. Well, here it is. My pure GOAT, for who I never watched play, who'll always be the GOAT, no matter what. Multiple rings and all, captain of his industry, and I'll tell you why in a moment. Bill Russell. Bill Russell faced multiple things besides what Michael Jordan faced. Michael Jordan faced adversity. And it was on the court. It was against players. It was against everything. Bill Russell was defense first. Then he was told to let loose. He was a player coach because they had those back then. So he did coaching duties and he did playing duties. But what was the one thing that he went through? Well, here's why I don't understand where people actually make the comment about Bill Russell being a GOAT more than anybody else. They state Boston is a racist city. And I'm not getting political, so people just settle down. I'm not going on a political tirade. I will tell you that right now. But when you sit there and you watch and you look at Bill Russell, he was everything that you did not want to be. Because if you were at that time, you were getting ridiculed off the court. You were getting ridiculed on the court. You were getting ridiculed while you played. You were getting ridiculed where you could stay. Remember, there was a movement going on while he was playing ball. There was a lot of things happening within that moment. Bill Russell was loved in Boston. Don't get me wrong. But when you went to other cities where he was not fairly loved, that man went through a hell of a lot. And he still came in. He still played his ball. But when you played in the 80s and you played in the 90s and you play like everything else now, you don't have that level. You know, you don't have to worry about what's going on in the stands or, hey, is this fan going to do something? I mean, yeah, we have levels of, you know, is it somebody that's going to be a little excited? Does somebody want to do something at the game? We get that. And I don't condone that at all for anybody. But where these are, hey, everybody's going to be hurt and it really sucks. This was him. Attacks were on him. Think of when everybody hears the Jackie Robinson story. When everybody hears the Jackie Robinson story, what you basically go into is you heard Jackie being Jackie. What's the one thing that also broke that down? Bill Russell went through the same thing. Multiple people that were instruments of the game faced that type of adversity back in that day. I give Bill Russell the credit upon credit because he came out and played. He wanted to ball. He wanted to game. He wanted to put everything to where he was. He was that captain to walk down that road. But the other thing you got to look at is when you look at Bill Russell, how many championships did Bill Russell win? I mean, he stopped playing in 1970. No, 1969, I should say. Bill Russell holds the record for the most NBA championships with a total of 11 out of 13 years. And if you want to tell me to the fact that they did not play the way the game is played today, and that's why it counts, and they didn't have as many games. Yeah, sure, go ahead and do that. They also didn't have as many fouls. If you got elbowed in the face, okay, ref didn't see it, oops. If you got tripped up by a man's feet because you stepped on his toe, there wasn't somebody coming over. How'd you get on the ground? Ooh, foul. Dude, get up and continue playing. If you had somebody swipe you in the face, just accidentally with the fingertips, and you just went, oh, like LeBron does when he flops. Oh my God, my face. Oh. Dude, people are going to call you crybaby. They're going to moan and groan, call you dull, tell you to get your head in the game, stop acting like a prissy pants, and play ball. Tough men during that time. So yeah. Mine, Bill Russell is an amazing dude. But what was the benefit of everything he did? He was who he was. He was even welcome to the Harlem Globetrotters of all things. So the Celtics got him. 8 straight NBA championships. 8 straight. That still is yet to be touched today. '66-69. He was a player, coach, champion, and final seasons. Look at that. When he became player coach, he bluntly said to his teammates that he intended to cut all personal ties to other players, made the transition from their peer to their superior. He basically made it so this way he flies off. This man also, his 1956 rookie contract was $24,000. If you look at that in 2024, that man would have made $277,500 for a rookie contract. These motherfuckers getting $1.8 million a year and everything like that. Dude, you're probably not even going to ball as much as this man is. And yeah, that's wow. that's all I got to say to that. But here's the biggest part. And I'll read this from Wikipedia. Russell's life was marked by an uphill battle against racism and controversial actions and statements in response to racism. As a child, he witnessed how his parents were victims of racial abuse, and the family eventually moved into government housing projects to escape the daily torrent of bigotry. When he later became a standout college player at USF, Russell recalled how he and a few fellow teammates were jeered by white students. After he became a star with the Celtics, he was a victim of racial abuse. When the NBA All-Stars toured the U.S. in the 58 offseason, white hotel owners in segregated North Carolina denied rooms to Russell and his teammates, causing him to later write in his 1966 memoir, Go Up for Glory, "It stood out a wall which understanding cannot penetrate. You are who he is, you are less." It covered every area. A living, smarting, hurting, smelly, greasy substance which covered you. A morass to fight from. Before the 61-62 season, Russell's team was scheduled to play in an exhibition game in Lexington, Kentucky, where Russell and his other teammates were refused service at a local restaurant. As part of the 61 Celtics boycott, he and the other teammates refused to play in the exhibition game and flew home, drawing a great deal of controversy and publicity. As a consequence of his endured racist abuse, Russell was extremely sensitive to all racial prejudice. According to sports writer Taylor, in a 2005 book, Russell often perceived insults even if others did not. He was active in the Black Power movement. It was among the African American athletes and the one political leader who came together in the 67 Cleveland Summit to support Muhammad Ali and his decision to refuse to be drafted. He was often called Felton X, presumably in the tradition of the Nation of Islam's practice of replacing a European slave name with an X and purchased land in Liberia. Russell's public statements became increasingly militant as he was quoted as saying, "I dislike most white people because they are people. I like most other people because I am one." Russell articulated these views with the measures of self-criticism, saying, "I consider this as a deficiency in myself, maybe. If I looked at it objectively, detached myself, it would be deficiency." When his white teammate Frank Ramsey asked whether he hated him, Russell stated that he has been misquoted, but few believed it. According to Taylor, Russell discounted the fact that his career was facilitated to white people who were proven anti-racists. His high school coach, George Powell, who encouraged him to play basketball, his college coach, Phil Wolpert, who integrated USF basketball, Coach Red Auerbach, who made him the first NBA coach and is regarded as an anti-racist pioneer who for his no-color barrier, and Celtics owner Walter A. Brown, who gave him a high $24,000 rookie contract, just $1,000 shy of the top-earning veteran Bob Cousy. Look at the man and look at everything he did. He was what Jackie Robinson was in the game, and there were a lot of other pioneers that were like him in the game for what they were. So if you don't take that as what it is to be a GOAT, sorry, dude. As much as I love MJ, and MJ did elevate the game to new heights and new levels in everything he did, Bill Russell made it acute with everybody within that time frame. Russell just went on and looked at everything and said, dude, you can do 15,000 different things. I'm still winning championships and I'm still gaming. But could you imagine having to play 80-something games back in the 60s or the 50s? and all this stuff was going on, that's a lot of games you got to tolerate. That's horrible. I forget even how many games were played. I mean, also, if you really look at this man's accolades, 11-time NBA champion, 5-time MVP, 12-time All-Star, All-Star MVP in 63, 3-time NBA first team, 8 times NBA second team, NBA All-Defensive first team, 4-time NBA rebounding champion, NBA anniversary team. His number 6 is retired by the Celtics. His number 6 is also retired league-wide. He was SI Sportsman of the Year in 68. He was an NCAA champion 2 times in 55 and 56. He was the NCAA Tournament Most Outstanding Player in 55. He was the UPI College Player of the Year in 56. He was the Helms Player of the Year. That's the Foundation College Basketball Player of the Year, was an annual college basketball award given to the most outstanding men's player in the United States. He's a 2-time consensus first team. He's a WCC Player of the Year, 3-time first team All WCC. That was the Western Conference for the NCAA. His number 6 was retired by the San Francisco Dons men's basketball team. He's got the Presidential Medal of Freedom. I'm looking at everything for what it was to be like to have it retired league-wide. Bill Russell. It was first retired in the Garden on March 12th of 1972. Due to Russell's tense relationship with the media and fans at the time, the ceremony was closed to the public. On May 26th of 99, Russell's number was re-retired in a public ceremony when it was the Fleet Center. Bill Russell's number 6 was to be retired across the NBA following his death, and this was in 2022. Listen, the bottom line is, when you talk about a GOAT, if nobody's bringing up Bill Russell, you don't know. And that's for me specifically. Why am I saying this? Is because as much as MJ is exactly the GOAT, and LeBron James can flop his way to flippity-floppityville, right down a flight of stairs for flippity-floppity-floopity, fine. But Russell remains the second all-time in NBA history in rebounds and rebounds per game. He's the leading rebounder in NBA postseason history. You know, all the accolades he basically had. He was the first non-white coach in American professional sports. And not only does he have a ring for being the coach and the player, he holds 2. He won one. He won in 68, and the other one in. Wait, I think it was 67 and 68. Where was I looking? Oh, yeah. The back-to-back titles were 68 and 69. So, you want to talk about a man who does everything? Yeah. That's basically something that kicks. But to like even mention for the fact of like the NBA right now, there's a bigger thing of brewing. And the Celtics are basically right where it is. And looking at everything, I'm on ESPN right now, which is where I was getting most of the stats. The Celtics are playing the Knicks. Now, the Celtics dominated the Knicks. And here's where I want to basically like state my piece. The Celtics did dominate the Knicks most of the year. Couple really good games. And the one thing is there are some times that the Knicks will surprise you. They're a very, very well-talented team. A team that is going to grind, that is going to make everything stick out. And they can basically get you in certain ways. Because if they turn on, they turn on. The Celtics have their own switch. So they go. But the Knicks do it as well, not as a heavy way. Can I see this being a 6-7 series? Yeah. Is it going to be heavy on the people of Boston? Sure. Is it probably going to destroy? But a lot of people within New York are going to understand. The part that I don't get is when somebody comes out and is like, oh yeah, the Knicks in 5. The Knicks in 5? Have you watched the Knicks this year? Where are they coming in 5? Please tell me. Oh, you're a Boston fan. You don't know. I'm like, I'll state the Knicks have been good this year. But again, please tell me, where are they taking the Celtics in 5? That's what I want to know. Why are they taking them in 5? Why are they taking them in 4? You know, that's the guy that really doesn't watch the game. I'll say 6, possibly 7, barring an injury. But I don't think the Knicks can keep up with the Celtics. 12 people out of a tally actually stated the Celtics in 6, the Celtics in 7. Somebody said Celtics in 5. Another person said 3 people said Celtics in 5. No, wait. 1, 2, 3, 4. 4 said Celtics in 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 said Celtics in 6. And 2 said Celtics in 7. Bottom line is you've got a number 2 seed and a number 3 seed. It's going to be big for whoever goes up against it. Okay? And if the Celtics get Drew Holiday back to play game 1 against the Knicks, yeah. It's going to be big. And the biggest thing I will say to any hater out there, to any hater, you want to talk about him being not clutch. You want to talk about him not being like, the position player or where he is. I still believe he was the MVP of the finals last year. It wasn't Jalen. If anybody wants to pigeonhole Jason Tatum and make it like he ain't got no game, I will remind you of Orlando. Game 1, the team won. Game 2, 3, 4, and 5. Jason Tatum popped where he needed to. That man right now is on a whole nother molecular level that I want to see him play Indiana, and I want him to play Cleveland, because the minute he steps foot in like playing any one of them, if he's on point and on ball, that is going to be a monumental thing to watch. Jason Tatum is something that you want to see. He makes the game interesting because he will pass the ball. He will drop up a three. He will drop up a three in a random friggin' spot. The other thing he'll do is he'll deke you out, watch you hit the floor, and take the shot right in front of your face and not care. He brings that monumental value that people lack in other ways. So when people talking about Giannis, you're talking about LaFloppy, and to all the LeBron fans, like, listen, don't get sour with me, okay? And I'll tell you why. I was happy when LeBron got drafted. Was happy when he got drafted. Happy with his first couple of years in the Cavs. Thought he was looking good. Was like, oh yeah, this guy's going to be amazing. King James. And then his attitude kicked in. Like how he left the Cavs, went down to Miami. He's going to win these championships because he put this team together. You didn't hold your end of the bargain. You then went back to Cleveland. You begged their forgiveness. Oh my God. You know, and then you got Floppy McFloopstein, which is what basically, he's a flop. He's a flopper. He's basically a fish out of water. You put him on the court. I liked LeBron James. I thought LeBron James was great. I thought he was good for basketball. Until he pulled the Miami stick. Remember how I said I don't like bullies, I don't like cheaters, I don't like bullshit artists? LeBron James. You know? LeBron James. It's the same way when, like, I talk to a friend of mine and LeBron James gets brought up. Somebody has to look at me and go, by the way, how is Bronny on the Lakers? No idea. I know, like, I don't want to hear it because it's hearsay, it's crap. I don't care. And I really don't. If he wanted to draft Bronny, if he wanted to get him in the first round, second round, whatever it was, great. Congratulations. Good for you. Got Bronny. Woo. He is an apple that fell far from the tree, I'll tell you. Oh, man. Oh. I will tell you, though, that Celtics game versus the Knicks tonight, 7 p.m., TNT, going to be a fire burner. Going to see what the Knicks got. And the Knicks are going to roll town. They're going to be like, oh, look at me. I've got the win over the Pistons. First off, you struggled against the Pistons. Make it to exactly what it is. Those guys struggled against the Pistons. Okay? Postseason, how it was, you struggled against the Pistons. Your last 5 games, okay, you won by 3. Okay? But you lost, what was it? Game 6? Let me see the full team schedule really here. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, so you played them in 6. Okay? You didn't even get to a game 7. You did it in 6. But you won by 3. You lost by 3. You won by 1. You won by 2. You lost by 6. And then your final game, you had the blowout. 123, 112. Highest of it. But look at those games. That's Detroit. Detroit. Your playoff bracket, the Pistons were 6th. 6th. Now, they were one of the weaker teams even coming into 6th. Because the Heat were really good. The Magic were really good. The Bucks were supposed to be good. But it's the same thing. The Rockets playing the Warriors. You know, the Timberwolves playing the Lakers. By the way, how's that Braun Luka Doncic match up looking? Good? Yeah? Sweet. The Grizzlies, they were just there. But the Pistons were weak. And you couldn't blow them out by 10 plus points. And you expect to walk into Boston and just go, oh yeah, like we're going to freaking hand them off like, you know, everything in its mother. That's what I don't understand about, like, you know, those high pressure guys. Here's the way this looks. If you look at the Pacers and Bucks, this is the number 4 and the number 5 team. The number 4 team basically showed a number 5 team who's boss. Game 1, 117-98. It's a win for Indiana. Game 2, 123-115. Game 3, the Bucks won 117-101. Game 4, 129-103. Game 5, by 1 point. Look at the first game that made a statement and walked right from there. 117-98. That's a 19-point win. Game 2 was an 8-point win. Then they lost by 16. But then won by 26. You didn't give the full-blown effort in Game 5. You know you didn't. 119, 118, come on now. Look at the Celtics. 103-86. 109, 100. Game 3, lost by 2. Game 4, 107-98. It's a 9-point lead. Game 5, 120-89. Do you really think you're going to fuck with the Celtics? I'm all for it being very serious and very gritty and very down to like where it needs to be. If you blew the Pistons out, which sounds completely disgusting, you know, you blow your piston right out there. If you blew the Pistons out for you being a 3 seed to a 7 seed to a 6 seed, I might be more adaptable to where like this might be a 7-game full series. But when I also looked at the Rockets, who were grinders, they were going to give you a physical game. When Golden State took them to the brink of 7 games, a number 2 seed to a number 7 seed, and watch the Warriors win. the Pistons basically did that in 6 games. 6 games. Now, mind you, the Magic are way better than the Pistons. I feel the Magic, they have the young, talented players. They have a little bit more upcoming. And for them to be where they were, yeah, challenging. Full-blown challenge. But dude, you struggled against the Pistons. You can't tell me you're ready to play Boston when you're struggling against the Pistons. Here's a better question. You get past the Celtics. You send the Celtics home. What do? You're going to play Cleveland or Indiana, which Indiana is already up 1-0 against the Cavs. That's the number 1 and the number 4 seed. Even Indiana, I would take over the Knicks right now. And then the number 3 seed. Big difference. It's going to be wacky to see what goes on. Can't wait to see it. But hey, that's it for it. Here's a little tit. Washington, D.C. will host the 2027 NFL Draft. We're giving new carry to the underlay of Washington, D.C. because Washington, D.C. is Washington, D.C. They've got their rookie quarterback. They've got the love of the land. So we're going to give them a little bit more. So yeah, Celtics in 6. 5-6. 5 if they just blow them right out. 6 if the Knicks can actually keep up a little bit. And 7 if they show the pure grind game, which can happen. Because, I mean, it is the Knicks. But, fair warning. If Tingus Pingus goes off, I don't want to hear it. Okay? That man bled for the Celtics. Kristaps Porzingis was gushing blood from getting hit. Okay? That man had his unicorn horn broke off, came back, bandage on his face, ready to freaking go. Right now, you've got to play not only 5 men. Here's the bonus of what I'll tell people about the Celtics. And I'm going to look right in the camera when I say this. You've got to play 5 men. You've got to play Jaylen Brown. You've got to play Jrue Holiday. You've got to play Derek White. You've got to play Kristaps Porzingis. And then you've got to play Jason Tatum. Jaylen Brown, Jrue Holiday, Derek White, Jaylen Brown, Jason Tatum. Then you got to play the bench, which is basically almost another starting 5. Peyton Pritchard, 6th man of the year. Then you got to work it right in to Al Horford. Al Horford, who, I will say this straight up, okay? Al Horford is still playing at an all-time level. At his friggin' age. Okay? That man is 38 years old. He is tall. It's a run. But that man, he's basically just been reactive for what he is. Okay? He doesn't have to be anything flashy, anything monumental. He's just there to show you that he's there. Because that's all he's got to be. Okay? Then you got Sam Hauser, Luke Cornett. You know, these are guys that are basically going to go there, and you know what they're there for? They're there to weigh you down. Here's why. Plus minus. And this was just from the last series. Peyton Pritchard, plus 29. Luke Cornett, plus 23. Sam Hauser, plus 17. Al Horford, plus 28. Jason Tatum, plus 34. Kristaps Porzingis, plus 7. Derek White, plus 8. Jaylen Brown, plus 11. Tatum, plus 34. I think that was actually from the last game. That was just from that game. But like even with that, that's basically what you want to look at. Those guys, when they hit the floor, they're going to make you crumble. They are going to make you work. There is nothing you can do about that, but you have to fight back. And if you do, great. If you don't, whoops. I just have a monumental aspect of what I'm looking at between those guys. You've got a lot to work with. A lot. And in order for you to like even hold that down and be everything that you're doing in order to make that happen, you're just going to struggle. And that's going to be a really, really big struggle you got to do. This is why like I can't pick New York. If one of them went down, if one of them was something to where like I had to look at this as a realistic piece. I'm from South Florida. I've got to look at the Celtics versus the Knicks. I'm not going to lie. There's some aspects that would still tell me Celtics. There's other things that would still tell me Knicks. You know? Ain't going to lie anything with it. You really can't. What do you lie about when you have the Knicks, when you have someone like Jalen Brunson, who is just showing everything that he can do? Okay? He is 7 seasons in. He is reestablishing himself with the Knicks from after being after going over from Dallas. Clutch Player of the Year 2025. NBA second team in 24. That's a big point guard to like focus with. That's a big manner of where you're going to be focusing. Here's another roadblock, but still going to give it because this man's probably going to give some issue. Karl Anthony Towns. This man is just ready to grind. He is ready to get into it. He is 10 seasons in. He is 29 years old. He is fighting for everything that basically is coming in. He was Rookie of the Year. He was an all-rookie first team, two-time All-NBA third team, 2022-2018. He's basically your seasoned vet right there. 29 years of age. Points per game against Boston, he had 19.8. He's got a 63.6% three-point percent, 53 from the floor. That's against Boston. I'm not even that's not even looking at Jalen Brunson for what he's done against Boston. 43% for a 3-point, 52% versus Boston from the field. But you got to look at everybody else, though. Full player stats for where it is. There's going to be something that holds into it. Defensive leaders, even right now. Jalen Brunson is 31.5 points. Jason Tatum is 31.3. Assists, Brunson's got 8.2. I'm just looking at the top 5. OG Anunoby, steals, 2.5. Blocks, nobody. Defensive leaders, rebounds. Jason Tatum, 11.3 per game. That makes a difference when you have someone like Kristaps Porzingis on the floor. You have Derek White, who is the smallest big man I've ever seen in my world. Drew Holiday, who also makes the monumental aspect to it. There is nothing to go sad about this. Defensive leaders. Points allowed. Points allowed. The Boston Celtics are 93.6 points allowed. The next one is Cleveland at 95. Minnesota is 100.4. Oklahoma is 100.5. Houston is 104.2. You know why Houston is 104.2 and went home? Because they couldn't score. But they kept it low. Field goal percentage. Boston Celtics, 46.9%. If I see offensive leaders, the Boston Celtics are 106.4 for what they score, and the Knicks are 108. But then again, you played Detroit, which was 106.7. That was basically your offensive leaders. Your defensive leaders, where the Boston is ranked 1 at 93.6 points a game. New York is 106.7 points a game. So the Celtics basically play the defense. They hold you down. Field goal percentage. With Boston being at 46.9%, trying to see it. 46.9%. The Knicks are at 45. So 1.9% in favor of Boston. Yay. Rebounds. The Celtics are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. They are ninth on the list with 42.2 rebounds. The Knicks are 2 down at 40. Points differential. Boston Celtics are plus 12.8. The Knicks are 1.3. When you continue to look at everything on the table, yes, the Celtics as a whole, okay, like a lot of people have to understand, like when you look at it, like, yes, there are monumental pieces, but when you look at someone like LeBron and Luka, those are two guys. Tell me the team around them without telling me the team around them that makes them monumental. What makes them push? What makes them champions? What makes them high quality caliber of what you want to see to where that goes? You don't. Celtics are winning the series. I have a 54.9% probability. I will write that down. 54.9%. Granted for everything, that 54.9% is actually saying the Celtics repeat. Why? They have the better depth in their bench. Not only do they have the better depth in the bench, they have the better defense upon the top 7 people on the team. Top 7. Peyton Pritchard, Al Horford. You can't get around that. If it was top 4, top 3, top 5, great. Guys coming off the bench, I'll even say it could be even 8. Cornette and Hauser are not just guys to go out there and, hi, I want to score. Yes, they like doing it. A lot of them throw up them threes. They make it interesting. But on the other side of the floor, they will dog you out. Get to know that. That's a heavy burden. That's a heavy hitter. Oh, the Celtics. I'm just excited. Hey, by the way, did you guys know it was my 50th show? If you look at me now, compared to like when I started this show, like I had my camera that went nuts. I had everything else that basically went completely haywire. But I'm here. Talked about the Red Sox. Talked about how I felt. They need to get better pitching. That's always been the key. I'm not going to say in any which way the fact that they need to get better pitching because they didn't already do that. They need to get better pitching. Like, you did the upgrades. Now you're seeing everything for the first month. I'm going to review this at the end of May when it comes into June. And what's the one thing I'm going to say? Here's the stats for May from last year to last month, where you have 28 games. 28 games. And you've got to basically put where you're 1-4 right now. 1-3. You're 4 games in, and you're 1-3. Like I said, not anything monumental that you're starting off with. But do I give anybody the benefit of the doubt within the first month? The first month blows. Okay? Like, look at everything when it comes down to, when you have Major League Baseball. Okay? You have spring training. Who are you playing in spring training that's going to, motivate you? Nobody. You play college teams. You play, guys who aren't even, sniffing the 40-man roster to save their life. They would sniff a bag at Market Basket before they sniffed the 40-man roster. So you're playing like the underling of underlings. Where do you go from there? You get a little bit serious and then, there's opening day. Woo! And then after opening day, where do you go? Woo! You continue down the road. Are you going up? Are you going down? Are you going left? Are you going right? Which way are you going? You're staying right in the middle. Look at football. Football, you used to have 4 games? And you wondered who played? Now you have 3 games. 1 game is a regular season. First 2 games I don't get excited for because it's still... Listen, you have all these workouts, you have all this stuff, you have all this breakdown. Trash. Straight up trash. What do I see about it? Trash. Okay? Get into the NBA. You have the G League, and you have probably a couple of the players that are vying for position that'll show you what they can do and how they can do it. But then some of them you even watch the after effect. Preseason sucks. Hockey, the same thing. You have all these players. You have the guys that are down in the A leagues and everything, and then they come up and they're doing this and they're doing this and they're playing, and it's great. And the other team, you're doing the same thing. So you're giving them a little bit of work, but you're not giving a lot of bit of work. It's not the same. It's not the same in how it goes. It's not the way how it's breaking down. It's not the way everything else is going. Sucks. So, what do? You have to put in for something else. You have to put in for which way it goes. My feature that I state is, if you look at the Red Sox right now, the first month out of 182 games, 62, 82, one of those. I think it's 162. Bottom line is, if you're really grinding the first month and you sit there and go, the first month, hey, it's monumental. Hey, this A they've got. No, everybody's still warming up. It's like when people go you know the Yankees are in first, right? Yep. I've seen them get up in the first place, lose first place, vie for position, and then completely lose it. I've seen guys that you come into the trade deadline, you get the 5 players that you desperately needed, and then all of a sudden you go on a tear, and then you end up in the playoffs and you blow. These are things that I see that don't tell me you can see this without telling me you can see this. There's a lot of things that you can't. This is one of them. Are the Red Sox right now poised to repeat themselves last year? Yes. Was it what we expected? We expected them to be better. But right now, looking at everything, they're on point. And this is just a recap. They're on point to repeat last year. Walker Buehler is not showing up. He's got the wins. Great. His ERA is horrible. Tanner Houck. I don't even want to know about your ERA, bro. Worried. Garrett Crochet. He got his deal. He got traded. He's the star. He's the expletive. He's right up there on the monument. And he's showing what he can do. That I like because it means a whole lot more. Alex Bregman comes as advertised. He is Alex Bregman, number one. Anybody who's talking about the defense, dude, go dunk your head. Because the difference is right now, he is only 5 errors, and you're making it like he's got 50. I don't want to hear it. Okay, like I said, Rafael Devers playing third base would have 15 to 20, and people would be like, oh, bench him. Like, well, there you go. I mean, here's the point. He went 0 for 16 at the beginning of the year. There you go. There's his errors is how he started the year. Is he making a transition back? Is he making better strides? Yes. I worry though, because you're going to get people like Zidane Rafaela. You're going to get, Campbell and a couple of the other young guys. They're going to get some fatigue near the mid part to the end part of the season. And that you have this is where I will know if Cora makes or breaks a lot more. Because I've seen him break down in 3 to 7 games. I've seen him make blunders again that a coach in his tenure and position would not make. I am seeing the same errors from 5 years ago, 6 years ago, still haunting Alex, and he's not making that drive or correction. It's great that you're the head coach of the Boston Red Sox. Get your head out of your ass. You need to be better controlling the pitchers, getting them out at specific times, and know when to put somebody in a position to win a game. You blow when that happens. And I said it already, and we'll recap it. The Masashita Yoshida stuff, don't anybody tell me he's injured without telling me he's purely injured, because I want to see the medical records. I think Alex Cora and company has basically blown everything out of their rectum for how they've treated this guy. And it's absolutely horrible. Dude, you wanted to sign Bregman to put him there, and then you needed that space, and you weren't going to have a 10, 12, $15 million guy who sits on the bench. That's your problem. That's your fault. You screwed up. Release the bastard and do something else. If you want to take it on the chin, take it like a champion, and who knows, get somebody else to replace him. Just saying. But anyway, I will say one thing though, going back to this being my 50th show, we'll probably have a show that'll mark celebrating 50. When I can actually do some righteous stuff, some celebratory things. I wanted to bring in talking about the Red Sox. I wanted to get the, my overall rating. Like I said, strong C. Nothing changing. There's no minus. There's not a minus. There's not a plus. It's you're right at a negative. Because already you're at a C. The way you started the year, the way you went against the White Sox, the way you're carrying yourself and your pitching, the way you're basically going out there and not showing the muster where you can actually get a lot of things done, you're kind of disappointing me, and therefore it's a huge C. Ginormous C. And I know what people will also say. Oh, I feel the fact that it's, it's higher than a C. Really, justify it then, please. Okay. If I have to break it down, here's where I'm going: fielding, C plus; batting, C plus; pitching, starters, B minus; bullpen, D; overall, C. When one fails, it affects the team. When multiple fail, it affects the team. This is a 500 team. You're 18-18. That's right now. Okay. Looking back at my notes, March of this year, you were 1-4. Last year, you were 2-2. April of this year, you're 16-11. Last year, you were 15-11. You're basically making it as history is condemned to repeat itself. And the one thing I'm going to point a finger at, if next month continues, Alex Cora will be my hot seat item, and it'll be everything in between. And I will rip a new one. I will tag the Red Sox beyond compare to show the fact that they erred with getting him back to be the manager. Giving him that long-term deal is going to hurt the Red Sox more than it's going to benefit them. I still stand by it. I stand by when I said it. I stand by how it was rehearsed. I stand by everything that it's basically doing, because I feel to the fact that even though Alex Cora being a brand in himself, he is not, and I repeat, not what is best for this team. It shows in his leadership. It shows in his standpoint. It shows every which way he goes, and I'm not buying it. Sorry. Ah. 50 episodes. Guess you guys are going to have to look forward to 51. What I might do this, okay? We're going to count down from 10, and we're going to do a 60th batch, okay? I'm going to get a couple people. I'm going to reach out. I want the 60th batch to be my 50th, and then when we do 100, yeah, I don't know. But I'll think of a couple things, and I know a couple people are going to be welcome back. I want to get some more guests. I've still been trying to vie for some guests and see what I can do. Of course, guests will have to be different start times and everything, so be on the lookout for those. I know for me, I can do a midnight show. I'm fine. So we'll see how it is. But for me, I'm going to call it a night. Thank you for listening to me rant. Thank you for everybody who has basically been following and bringing me to my 50th show. These are getting fun by the minute, and I apologize for the slow start, and hopefully the last minute uptick with everything was better. I apologize also, I don't have a director or executive producer that goes along, but I will make one comment before I leave. This to a couple people. So, history with me is I've been a sports fanatic for years. During the pandemic, I was allowed to meet a very special man, Al Nahigian, who has become a very great friend, a very big supporter. someone who can basically be there and just pump rainbows to who you need to be. So for unlocking that absolute potential within me, Al, I thank you immensely. To my mom and my dad, who have basically, Dad will still tell you that Dwight Evans needs to be in the Hall of Fame, and Mom will tell you that the Bruins were one of the greatest things to watch in the 60s and 70s. I loved getting bedtime stories that were baseball, sports related, everything. So that's part of me. To just playing sports, baseball, football, basketball, hockey, you name it, I did it. I threw pads on. I went the extra mile, did everything I could. I had fun with it. Never wanted, yeah, you always dream of being a pro, but I think when you get older, it was just kind of like, listen, I had fun. I didn't care. To still my mom and my dad for being my rock. There's nothing better to it. To a couple of people, there's a big fan of mine, my friend Mike, for just late night, early mornings of, dude, did you see this? Dude, you got to see this. Dude, did you even look at this game? Did you see the highlights? Did you see the crap that this happened? By the way, that draft guy, what the to my friend Mike McGuizik, dude, you have been nothing but blowing a gracious amount of positivity to me, telling people to fuck them, because and to the fact that you're one of the ones who actually enjoys this, so thank you. To people that do listen to this, I have nothing but praise and thanks. Sometimes I go way over for the hour and a half I'm supposed to do this. Right now, 3 hours. But I needed to do a Red Sox show. And I have one listener every once in a while that will listen. Andre, I still have no idea how I stare at a wall or a computer screen and talk to myself and do this for 3 hours. I can't give you an answer to that because I still don't know. I just get a feeling, I run with it, and oh my God, do I run everything in a half. Giving praise to Al again really quick to bringing me on board to Couch Guy Sports during the pandemic, allowing me to be part of their Twitch team, but also writing articles. Yes, I wrote articles. Pretty impressive. To where a couple of them were about Jackie Bradley, a couple of them were about LeBron James. My favorite one, no matter what, was about the hate that Tuukka Rask got, and to see the monumental turnaround that actually focuses and flows. Just being part of that. Just being on a couple extra podcasts, and I will state it. The last of the time I got to thank, even though they don't deserve the thanks, but I'll give it to them anyway. To the boys at Small State, Big Network, Small State, Big Takes. Gilly, Josh, Steve, Oliver. There's times I really do want to tell you guys to go fuck off. Yeah, I know you guys have lives and everything like that, but you guys welcome me into the fold with you guys being Rhode Island based and me being up here. Just making me part of the crew has been nothing but great. And I show the banner. It's wonderful. Especially for how many times, like 1, 2, 3, or 4 of them just show up randomly. My time of streaming video games, I would get, Steve popping in. Helper! Oh my god, we're playing this game. Dude, it's amazing. So just moments when you just need it. They are probably the best group of guys. And I'm happy to actually have them, at my back, even though they don't answer my messages anymore. I wouldn't say that. It's been a while since I've talked to any of them. And I know they have their lives. It's not to the fact of no, hey, unless they ignore me, then I can just call them out. But they do like the post when I do it on Twitter. So, I blame them. But them pushing for when I said, hey, I'm thinking about doing a podcast, it was them to do it. So that's there. And then lastly, because he does deserve huge recognition for this, talking to me about it on a normal basis, talking to me about food, just having moments upon moments upon moments. To Joe Murray, meeting you at a Wingstop was weird because I was a fan. I had just picked up my food, and Al brought me back to Wingstop because I did want to meet you. I wanted to shake your hand, and I wanted to have the Joe Murray moment. And fast forward about 2 years later, or almost more than 2 years later, I'm happy to call you a friend. I'm happy to give you all the support. For the fact that you're taking your show and running with it and doing everything in its mother, to even giving me some of the tools and the trades that I've been doing currently, to just fueling me on certain things. I can't ask for a better teacher, and I will point that to be probably the best of anything in the world. So I thank you to everybody. Everybody, fuck what I just said. Everybody's amazing. Thank you for giving me the world to speak where I am. I'm having fun. That's all I ever want to do. Easy. But that will be it for the night. And we will celebrate on the 60th episode, 10 episodes from now. The big 60th bash. The 50th show will be the 60th show. And we'll celebrate in style. Hopefully the Celtics will be somewhere. And we'll try to make sure what it will be. Till then, hey, this is Boston Concessions. It is not just been outside. It is Boston Concessions. I am your host, Topher. I want to thank you for enjoying these 3 hours of forgetting about dongs and celebrating a 50th episode, to listening to my wondrous talk about baseball, the Red Sox, and me bringing the stat page, and to get ready for the Celtics and listening to me say who my GOAT was. Thank you, everybody. For tonight, tomorrow, day, night, wherever you listen to this, thank you. And we'll talk to you soon.